Hi guys. I used to do these front porch vlogs pretty frequently a couple of years back, and I quit doing them, and I don't know why. Um, and I might restart this little, I call it a series, here, the woman who does a video once every couple months. But it's nice out today, so I thought I would talk to you about something that's been weighing on my heart, and to see if any of you feel maybe the same way. So I had a friend that I worked with years ago, and we kind of both, went our separate ways, but we would occasionally keep in touch. And when I lived in my other house, I was physically closer to where she lived than I am now, but it doesn't really matter. So to put in perspective, when I was living in our other house, and her and I would occasionally, maybe twice a year, meet for lunch, it took me 20 minutes to get down there. Now it would take me about 50. Maybe an hour if traffic is bad. That doesn't matter. I could have done it. I would have been willing to do it, or meet her halfway. So we moved out here in 2026, and I think the last time I saw her was probably 2019. And we had lunch. We have never argued. We have never had a disagreement. There was never any disparaging words between us. I never said anything against her to anyone else. I really thought a lot of her. She was an elusive, kind of distant friend, but still friend that would go out of her way to try to get together and see each other. So 2016, 2017, 18, 19, and then the pandemic, and then we moved out here, and I didn't hear from her for, I don't know, a couple of years, and I started to wonder how she was, because she wasn't always the healthiest thing, and I never saw her on Facebook. And so I went to her Facebook page, and it said that we weren't friends on Facebook anymore, but it wasn't my doing. So I sent a message on Messenger, and I said, hey, we're not friends on Facebook anymore. I sent you a request. I don't know what happens. Sometimes this stupid stuff happens. And I never heard back from her, and she never accepted my friend request. And so fast forward like a year, and I started wondering how she might be doing or what she was doing. And so I sent another message to her. No response. So I got worried, concerned, because like I said, she wasn't always the healthiest person. So I put a message on Facebook, just, out there, hey, anybody who knew so-and-so back when I knew so-and-so, if you are still in contact with her, just let her know that I'm thinking of her, and have her shoot me a message. I got no response from anyone, which was weird. So I had to assume that maybe nobody had heard from her either. And so I just let it go. And then, about a year later, it's not like, I want to be clear, I'm not stalking this woman. I just would occasionally think about her and wonder about her, and wanted to, get together with her, or at least catch up. And so I sent a couple of messages out to mutual friends. Like, I knew a younger girl that had been friends with her daughter, and so I knew that there was, a relationship there. Maybe she could give me some info or whatever. I sent a message, and nothing. Crickets. So I sent a message to one other person, I think, and still nothing. So here we are, 2026, mid-2026. I hadn't even reached out to her. I think the last message I sent was maybe 2023 or something like that. And so I started thinking about her again. Every once in a while she'll cross my mind. Well, I couldn't find her. I mean, we still weren't friends on Facebook, according to what I could find. And all my messages were still just hanging there. She hadn't read them or answered them or anything. And it got to really bugging me. And I started to feel kind of hurt about it because I opened up to my daughter about it. And I said, what do you think? And she said, I don't know. And my daughter had this person on her Facebook for years. Just, how you got friends on Facebook you never see or hear from. She was just lingering there or whatever. And because my daughter was around the whole time that I was working at this place where I met this particular person, and she grew up with these people. Enough said. So she said, I'm still friends with her on Facebook. If you want me to send some. I said, no, I don't want to be weird. I just want to know what you thought about it. And so then, lo and behold, like 1 week later, my daughter has a side business, and she does a lot of crochet work, and she puts stories up on, I think, Facebook and maybe Instagram. Well, I know Instagram, but I don't know which one of the social media sites that this happened on. So my daughter put up her story, on the site, advertising her business, and she can go in on the back side and see how many people saw it, how many people liked it, and who they are. And lo and behold, this girl I'm talking about is one of them that saw her story. And so she sent me that, and she was like, I don't get it. And I said, I don't either, but it tells me that there has been no big mystery, that she hasn't been ill, that there hasn't been a conspiracy to keep me away from her. It has just simply been one big, I'm not gonna say it. It was very clear to me when when I saw that she was looking at my daughter's stories and Instagram or whatever it was, but will have nothing to do with me. And so that brings you to this ghosting, I don't know, phenomena, I guess, since social media has been around, and it's a very terrible thing. I mean, I was ghosted before social media, way before social media with, exes or whatever. But it's just so easy now for people to just hit buttons and say block, block, block. And then they just go away and they don't offer any explanation. They don't ever say, well, you made me mad here, or can we talk about this there? Which is the adult way to be. But no, let's just put up the black curtain and never say another word to this person. It's very hurtful. It makes you feel like, it made me feel like I'm not good enough. It brings up, even at my age, abandonment issues. Because you never know who's next, who's gonna, slide through your hands next, who's gonna slip away next. Because it's happened. I'm estranged from my brother. I'm estranged from his daughter. That was, I know the reasons why on that. So that's a little easier to take. But just this poof, I'm gone. But I'm still going to look at your daughter's things on Instagram. But I'm never going to try to contact you. And I'm never even going to read messages from you when they're absolutely, I mean, I even went so far as to, go down this rabbit hole that, maybe, I don't even know. There was nothing that I can ever say. I didn't see her enough to be able to ever be mad at her. I only thought good things about her. And I thought we were friends. And somewhere along the line, we were not as good of friends as I thought. So, it's just, the older you get, the more people, the smaller your circle becomes. This is very, very true. The older you get, the smaller your circle is. And you get kind of scared sometimes about it because there's not a lot of people left that you can call on, rely on, or, you know. So, yeah, I was hurt for a few days, and my daughter gave me the advice, well, you know, send a message and tell her exactly what you think and how, you know, crappy you think that is, that, you know, she did that to you. And I said, well, let me think about it. And I thought about it, and I thought, you know what? She hasn't opened up any of the other messages, or she didn't respond. And so if I pour my heart out in another message, number one, will she see it? Will she respond? No. Will I get some satisfaction that she read it at some point? No, because I'll never know. So I thought, you know what? I've been reaching out for about 4 years now. I think I've done my part. So whatever her problem is, she can just take it and skip along. And I don't know, you know, what else to say. I just really don't. But yeah, if people have a problem, people need to say, look, this is why. I just think that this ghosting is just a very terrible and psychological weapon that people use. Basically, that's what it is. It's a psychological weapon. So I don't know if you can hear Lucy in there. If you can, I apologize. If not, then just forget I said that. But yeah, that's it. That's all I had to say today. Just wanted to get it off my chest and maybe see how you guys feel about this ghosting crap, and if you feel the same way as I do, or I am just a drama queen and I make too big a deal out of it, I don't know. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.